Hi everyone, Jim here for Mystery and Mayhem. Welcome to my channel. As you might recall, we have a Sherlock Holmes reading event coming up in February called Holmes is Where the Heart Is. Now, after much thought and deliberation, I've come up with my 4 choices for the 4 prompts that are going to be featured in the month of February. And just as a reminder, the 4 prompts are Long Canon, where we'll be reading one of the 4 original Sherlock Holmes novels by Arthur Conan Doyle. The second prompt is Short Canon, where we'll be reading one of the short stories or short story collections that Arthur Conan Doyle wrote. The third prompt is Pastiche, where we'll be reading a Sherlock Holmes novel that's not written by Arthur Conan Doyle. And the fourth prompt is called Legacy, where we'll be reading a book or a story that is inspired by the character or stories of Sherlock Holmes. So there's plenty out there, and I hope that you'll be surprised at the one that I've chosen. And I look forward to seeing what you guys have chosen if you decided to join us. So yeah, let's get right to it. The first one I chose for the Long Canon is this book, The Sign of the Four, in this beautiful Bantam or Ballantine paperback with that neat cover. I love these covers. I've got about 4 of them. I wish I had the rest of them. But yeah, so I'll be reading The Sign of the Four, which is his second novel that Doyle wrote after A Study in Scarlet. Now, for the second week, the second prompt, the Short Canon. Now, this one's interesting because this isn't one of the collections that I mentioned in my prior video, but it is a collection called The Best of Sherlock Holmes. And these are the original short stories, but they were compiled by, actually, the first 12 were chosen by Arthur Conan Doyle himself. In an article where he was asked to choose his 12 favorite Sherlock Holmes stories, he chose these ones: The Speckled Band, The 5 Orange Pips, The Red-Headed League, The Second Stain, The Dancing Men, The Devil's Foot, The Final Problem, The Priory School, A Scandal in Bohemia, The Musgrave Ritual, and The Empty House, and The Reigate Squires. Now, the editor of this, David Stewart Davies, chose 12 more or 8 more from the later novels, because the ones that Arthur Conan Doyle chose were from the earlier collections. So the ones he chose to add to this collection were The Man with the Twisted Lip, The Blue Carbuncle, The Copper Beeches, Silver Blaze, The Creek Interpreter, The Solitary Cyclist, Charles Augustine Milverton, and The Illustrious Client. So I'll be reading that one, all the stories in that collection with that wonderful cover, a Wordsworth classic, for the second prompt. Now, the third prompt I chose, The Shadow of Reichenbach Falls by John R. King. And this takes place after Holmes apparently went over the Reichenbach Falls with Moriarty, and we all know that he survived that. But this takes place immediately after, and apparently Holmes in this has amnesia, and he meets up with Carnacki, the Ghost Finder. He teams up with in this book, and I don't know too much about the story as of yet and what kind of mystery is involved. I think it involves them trying to avoid, Moriarty's henchmen trying to assassinate Sherlock Holmes. So I'm just looking forward to that, and I hear nothing but good things about this book and that lovely cover. So I will let you know how that is in the month of February. I'll keep you updated on all these as I read them. Now, this last one for Legacy might be a surprise to you, but once you hear about the character, you shouldn't be too surprised. It's Preston and Child, White Fire. Now, the character featured in this, he's a recurring character. There's many books, over 20 of them. I'm not too sure how many at this point, but the character is an FBI agent, Aloysius XL Pendergast. And according to Preston and Shaw themselves, he's directly influenced by the character of Sherlock Holmes. And the interesting thing about this book is there's a complete short story of Sherlock Holmes within this that is claimed in the book to be a lost Sherlock Holmes story by Arthur Conan Doyle. So I'm really looking forward to reading that. This is actually my wife's book because she collects the entire series of Pendergast by Preston and Child, and I thought it was an appropriate one to read for the legacy, the fourth prompt for Holmes is Where the Heart Is. So yeah, and I will let you know how that is as we go. And February will be here before you know it. And I hope you guys join us. And I really, really look forward to seeing what you come up with for your prompts. So yeah, that's just a quick video to update you on my on what I'll be reading for the event. So you guys take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Keep reading.